Welcome back to the Fourth and Five podcast. We missed last week. Life got in the way, a little scheduling, but it was Delaware, so I don't really think we missed too much.
Last week in Illinois.
Well, 2 weeks ago I meant we missed the Delaware post show and the Illinois pre-show.
We're 2-0 since the last time we talked.
Right now. Yeah. So we've won 2 games. Again with Robbie, with Mo, guys. How are we?
Doing well. Like I said, 2-0 since we last spoke. So that's a good feeling. Obviously, we had Delaware, and that was kind of a cakewalk for us. But Illinois was also fun. So doing well.
Weather. That's all I have to say. Weather. This is like, what was that? 2005, where we lost to Iowa like 9-6
No.
at home.
Say that.
But that was Paterno ball. That's different. Paterno ball played in what Iowa wants us to, like, the way Paterno played football played into how Iowa wants you to play. That's not this team.
Yeah, so let me just pull up the
that was the Michael Robinson, right? That was when we won the Orange Bowl.
I think so.
They said that the BCS polls really, really loved us, but then after that Iowa loss, we ended up 3rd in the country that year, right?
Well, that's not going to happen again.
So, I guess what do we want to do? We want to break down Illinois first?
Yeah, we don't really need to talk a whole lot about Delaware. Delaware was Delaware. That was
just an ass.
That was a preseason game, 63-7. That was just to tune up our offense. So we'll move on to Illinois and break down that game a little bit, I think.
I mean, I know that the collective, I'm sure the other Penn State fans were, but I know the 3 of us were freaking out. Mo went silent for a little bit. So me and Robbie were texting each other. Yeah, that was a bit scary for a little bit, just because we couldn't move the ball because they were just dominating us off the jump on the line. Drew, here's the thing about Drew. Drew wasn't great, but I think that's the worst he can play.
If that's a bad Drew game, sure, he completed 55% of his passes for like 200 yards, but he didn't turn the ball over. He took care of the ball. For everyone overreacting, I just want to point out that if Sean Clifford was our quarterback for that game,
we would have lost that game.
I don't know if we lose that game, just
it would have been much closer.
5 turnovers. We sure as hell don't cover, and we don't pull the starters with like 10 minutes to play.
Yeah.
True. If Sean Clifford, he throws like a back-breaking pick, and that game's probably like a 1-score game until late in the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm. Just like when we lost in the 95 overtime game in Illinois, it probably would have been very similar.
Very true.
Yeah,
he took care of the ball. It was his first road start. He took care of the football. I mean, sure, the offense didn't look great, but I think that's probably the best defensive line we're going to face. Their front seven's nasty.
Yeah. I think I underestimated them just from my point of view. I thought they only were really, one-dimensional with Johnny Newton. But, I mean, they had some dogs on the defensive line, man. We couldn't get any push. And early on, I was honestly kind of scared for us because we just were not getting anything going. But like you said, Drew took care of the football. That's the most important thing. Our backs were able to break some, through the little holes that we had. But overall, it was a good learning experience. And to go in there and win by 17, to be able to cover and walk out still scoring 30, I think that's something we can hang our hat on.
I mean, realistically, we won by 23 too.
Right.
We left a lot of points on the board, which, I mean, like I texted you, Rob, the defense was great. Offense left much to be desired, which, again, like if that's the worst they're going to play against a good defensive front, I'll take it, especially when we cover that's where the game was kind of over. And I know, like, the way that I kind of went into it, we were like, all right, they almost lost to Toledo. Let's see how they play against Kansas. Kansas pretty much dog walks them. And then we're like, all right, we shouldn't be worried about this team. But then, like, they're at home against us. It's a conference game. And then the first, quarter, I was like, oh, my God, Mo was right 3 weeks ago. Like, because you were right 3 weeks ago about it. And then, but then we just kind of, like, the defense was so good. Altmaier sucked, but the defense was awesome. And
Daquan Hardy made such a beautiful play on that one pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just, like, watching our corners get their head around and just make plays on the ball like they're wide receivers is just incredible.
It was beautiful. They beat the receivers to the throw most of the time, and I don't know how many times I yelled out, "Turn your head," and they actually did and picked the ball up.
They
So it
did
was
it, yeah.
very nice to see. Yeah, I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, cool! Like we actually got it." But yeah, like our defensive backs were just far more than their wide receivers. So I think we clearly won that battle.
I mean, I think the recipe for us is we want a negative play for the offense early or like a no gain, and then they get into a second and third and have to throw and chop, Adisa, deny, pin their ears back. We bring, 5, 6, and we just let our corners on an island
Mhm.
and get pressure. I mean, this defense is disgusting.
Yeah.
If you're playing behind the chains against this defense, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And Illinois was behind the chains for the majority of the game.
Majority of the game, yeah. Definitely.
I mean, early on, they were able to run the ball, and it was kind of frustrating how easy they were able to run the ball. But then we started causing turnovers, and then we wore them down. So we wore down the offensive line with the turnovers. They were on the field so often. Altmaier was shitting his pants, and then they couldn't really run the ball. I kind of just shut them down in that third, fourth quarter, essentially. So I mean, a lot of promising stuff from the defense for sure. But this week, this is the big one. Not the big one for us, obviously, but it's the whiteout. Top 25 matchup.
Biggest.
It's the biggest.
Biggest
No,
so
I wouldn't
far.
even say the biggest so far. Yeah, But the thing is, like, is it our biggest test? Yeah, but Iowa doesn't impress me. They're 24 in the country. They got moved up from 25. I honestly think they're only in the top 25 just because of the name and because they haven't lost yet. And it's better for us if we play a ranked opponent at the whiteout. But the line opened up at 14.5. Is it still there? Let's find out.
It went down to 13.5 briefly, but then jumped right back to 14.5.
Okay, so it's probably gonna sit. My guess is it's gonna sit around there, and it's not really gonna change, barring any injuries, which I don't see.
I don't see it moving much. I really don't. I think if you're able to catch it at 13.5, take it. But I mean, I saw something today that based off Iowa's depth chart, like two other guys, obviously, the tight end's out for the year. Two other guys.
Lakey.
Yeah.
Lachey.
Two other guys were.
Is that how you say that?
Yeah, Luke Lachey.
Makes
I didn't
sense.
even know
like that.
I honestly didn't. That's bad for them that he broke his leg. That's not good.
Yeah, it was
because
an injury too. I looked it up. It was not pretty.
Last year they ran out Lachey and Laporta, and they were unstoppable. But no Lachey is going to be.
And they already lost Eric All, right? He got hurt preseason.
I think so.
And then apparently they lost a running back and another guy I saw, just like they weren't listed on the depth chart today. I saw the tweet. I can't find it right now, but someone broke it down that if those three don't play, they've lost 40% of their offense.
Wow.
Which is not good.
Wow. Yeah, not at all. McNamara is going to have his work cut out for him. That's for sure.
It's going to be interesting because obviously they run a lot of tight end sets, so I don't even know who their backup is or their other guys. And we know that, again, I still think Cade McNamara is Shea Patterson for some reason. McNamara is their quarterback. He hasn't looked stellar. And it's kind of Caleb Johnson didn't. That's their big running back. He didn't play last week.
He's also not listed on the depth chart right now.
Very interesting. All right, so let's kind of I guess we'll break down. Let me just break down Patterson's stats real quick. I know we see it 4.
Dave.
I look at Patterson. I think I gotta stop. I look Shea Patterson.
You gotta just pull his name up and just have it on your screen.
The Irish quarterbacks. Guys, every time McNamara, O'Korn, all the guys are the same. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that all week too. I'm gonna call him Shea Patterson. It's ridiculous. All right, so 191 against Utah State, 123 against Iowa State, 103 against Western Michigan. So they're not using him at all, which is
103 against Central Michigan. That's pretty brutal.
103 last week against Western
Michigan.
Michigan.
He's got 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. It's pretty average. over 3 weeks.
I would say that his stats are bad. You could say they're bad.
They're not good.
Because, I mean, he won the whole game.
He's an Iowa quarterback, so those are actually like pretty good Iowa quarterback stats.
2 picks against Western Michigan's bad. I know they have a decent secondary because I covered the MAC, but like that's bad.
Yeah.
3 picks.
Well, what's worse, 3 picks against Bowling Green or 2 picks against Western Michigan?
3 picks.
Yeah, Kenny H. They're okay. Western Michigan's 2 studs. Our D-backs are better than their best D-backs. They're not even close. So
easily, it's not even a question.
Yeah, so I guess pretty much we'll start to the keys of the game that Rob wrote down for us. The trenches are going to need to be won again. I know early against Illinois, I said before, we kind of lost the trench battle early on. But, I mean, Iowa always has a good offensive line, and we don't even know who their running back is going to be. Looks like it's not going to be Caleb Johnson as far as we know. But they always have LaShawn Williams looks like it's going to be the guy who had a good day last week. LaShawn Williams is decent. He played for them last year. I know he got snaps, but
they struggled to run the ball in their first 2 games, though. I mean, they didn't struggle this past week, obviously. I mean, but it was Western Michigan. Like you just need to win, play big boy football, and that's what they did. But I mean, they haven't seen a defense like this, and if they struggle to run the ball, Cade McNamara is not beating us.
Yeah, that's very true, especially in the whiteout game. And I mean, that just adds another factor. It's not going to be easy to run the ball in that environment. It's not going to be easy to do anything in that environment, let alone
I just
hear
don't
each other.
I mean, I know there's some weather, but like I just don't see Cade. I mean, this defense has only given up 2 touchdowns, or 2 or 3 like garbage time removed. I'm pretty sure they've given up 2 touchdowns all year.
The only bad touchdown they let up was when that kid on Delaware broke one. That was the only like breakdown, I think.
Us. We let up 3.
Yeah,
we let
3,
up 3
right?
Yeah, that's what you're
5.
saying.
We let up 5.
Oh, you mean Iowa?
But
Sorry,
3
Iowa.
actual. Yeah.
3 actual for us.
Yeah.
I think Iowa's only allowed like 2 or 3 touchdowns.
They
all year.
let up the 1, 2. I don't know if the one against Utah State. 1, 2. Let's see. When did they score that second touchdown? Utah State. They let up with a minute left when they were up 24.
Yeah, so garbage.
So 3 really. Yeah. Very interesting. I mean, let me see if Caleb Johnson's even going to play because that'll be interesting. If he doesn't play and they don't have Lachey or Eric All or you're right, from the Athletic. Lachey done for the season, and their another running back's not on the depth chart, so they are in trouble. It seems.
Wow, they're hurting. That's not a good
Sean
recipe to.
Sean Williams is fine, but
yeah,
it's gonna be very interesting.
I didn't know they were that thin this week.
McNamara is prone to turn the ball over. So, I mean, the place is going to be absolutely rocking for the whiteout, and we just got to
especially when he doesn't have his main target in Lachey. I mean, that's the guy that he always checks down to, and then, when he gets in trouble, he's going to try to find him. So I just picture him early on getting, distressed and throwing a stupid ball, and hopefully we can make a turnover out of it. But I don't see them scoring more than 17 points in this whole game, but I don't see them scoring in the first half, to be honest with you. I just don't think they're going to be ready to step into that environment and actually put a drive together. They might get lucky and get something if we screw up somewhere, but I think it's going to be a pretty good first half for the boys in blue.
So, dude, I clicked on the Iowa statistics to see who their leading receiver is, and it's giving me the Browns. I was like, they have a guy named E. Moore and A. Cooper, and I was like, what the hell is this?
Oh, what?
That's crazy.
That's funny.
Did McNamara start a whiteout game at Michigan?
Wasn't he the quarterback?
I think so. Yeah, when
right?
Timeout.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I watched that 20 minutes ago too.
Was it him or was it Shea Patterson?
I believe so. It might have been Shea Patterson.
2019.
I think it might have been 2.
Penn State.
That's the thing. I was like,
see the video in my head.
Patterson?
No, I don't think it was Patterson.
It was Patterson. Yeah,
That's funny, actually.
it's Patterson. Didn't they both
Okay,
wear
so
number
Cade,
2?
Cade's a newbie. He has no idea what to expect.
I
Well,
swear
no,
he-
Cade's the one who beat us
at Michigan.
2021
At
at
Michigan,
home.
right?
No, at home. Remember
Oh,
2021?
that's right. Yeah, with
Where
the it wasn't the
Schoonmaker or
whiteout.
whatever?
It wasn't a whiteout though. I remember
No,
that
that
game.
was
Yeah.
just well, we were 7-4 at that time, or
Yeah.
like
That was the
Yeah.
crappy, yeah,
We
the
almost
one that
won.
didn't count.
We almost
Yeah,
won.
yeah,
true.
we did almost win that game. We gave up a touch. We gave that like Schoonmaker touchdown, the late, like the tight end
Schoonmaker,
drag
yeah.
across the middle, and I think Jonathan Sutherland blew coverage or something.
That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember where I was for that game. I was at the bar, and I thought we were gonna win. I was like, don't let yourself think we're gonna win, and then we did not.
And then we lost.
Yeah, because I remember they were just. Well, Sean was running for his life.
The whole game. It was raining, right?
No, it was just cold.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo were literally just
Yep.
beasts.
Yeah, I heard.
Yep. That's a scary duo.
Yeah.
They-
So,
yeah.
what else? Another key to the game is that we're gonna have to control the pace of the game, which is. So I think that the way they're just gonna kind of grind the clock down. That's what they're gonna
Yeah.
do. They're gonna run a classic Iowa offense because they have so many guys that they're just gonna try to milk and milk and milk. But like, if McNamara can't throw the ball, they're not gonna be able to run the ball. So it kind of really their offense is gonna really depend on McNamara's play. And if he's god awful, which is very possible, I feel like they're not gonna be able to dominate the run.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. The only thing I'm really concerned about is, are we going to keep the 30-point streak alive? Because like I
Good
don't know.
question. That's a good
I don't
feeling
know.
to have.
I think if it rains as hard as it's showing now, I'm kind of scared for that 30-point streak, to be honest with you. Just because I think if we don't have to, we're not going to air it out. Like if Iowa can't do anything on offense, we're just going to run the ball down their throat and get out of there with like a 21-10 win or something like that. But
I know we always like Iowa defense, but like, do they have dudes this year? Like, I can't.
they don't
like,
have
they
like
always
that
have a
staple
dude.
DN that they always have. You know what I mean? Like,
Oregon
yeah, the
linebacker.
linebacker that they've always had. Yeah, that
Or they
he was
have
their guy
they
for the
do
last
have
like 5
Riley
years.
Moss, right? Riley Moss in the secondary. He's good.
I'm sure linebacker that's just like they just make him in a lab. Oh, they have Cooper DeJean. He's sick.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Riley Moss got
Yeah,
drafted.
Cooper DeJean's really good.
They really
And
do
then-
make tight ends and linebackers at Iowa University. Like, it's pretty wild.
Jay Higgins looks like he's their Mike. Yeah, he's got 32 tackles already. So I guess he's just going to be a guy that flies around. But again, like I feel like in the past, Iowa teams have been getting a lot of hype. Like when we lost to them in the Roberson game, and like in the past, like Iowa gets a lot of hype. Like this defense is so good, but like everyone's kind of like Iowa shouldn't be ranked. So it's
Yeah.
kind of a weak spot because when you think Iowa, you think really good defense and a really good running back, and Spencer Petras, who would turn the ball over 5 times. But now it's kind of their defense is going to be good, obviously, but it's not like they're not world breakers like they used to be. The best player they're going to be on the quarterback's play, and they don't really have a run, but he's hurt. I know Lachey kills them. So, very interesting.
I mean, Lachey was the only person who caught balls with over 100 receiving yards. The next closest
20
has
hours.
81. I mean, like, Patterson is that like where are they gonna get LaShawn Williams and Patterson, I think, are both out. So that means we get Caleb Johnson, who is averaging 2.7 yards a carry on
No,
30.
Caleb Johnson's out.
Then I thought I saw Patterson was out too. So I guess LaShawn Williams
Yeah,
might be bad.
LaShawn Williams. Well, LaShawn
Okay.
Williams, like Yeah, he has 19 carries for 164 yards, but he is a 53 yarder, and I think he has like another chunk rush.
Big plays.
All right, so okay,
Yeah.
so he ran for 145 against Western Michigan, where all his stats are coming from. He had a 53 yarder, so then he averaged like 9 yards a carry.
Mm.
And then there's another guy whose stats are uh, we don't know if Patterson's out. I mean, we're recording this on a Monday, so we don't know the entire
Yeah,
who's out.
could change.
But I mean, even if
It's
you said
all-
Eric All's not on the depth chart,
No, but then I see it. I thought he got hurt earlier in the year.
he
But
might have. Who knows? But he's not
It
nearly as
looks
good as
like he's fine.
fine. They do throw the ball to Rajiani too, but he's like not great. He's fine. He's not gonna beat anybody. He's a big bodied receiver, but we're gonna lock him down. He's not fast enough to beat our defense.
I'm once again struggling to find a way where this team can beat us, but that is also what
The
scares
scary
me
part about it. Yeah.
because there's like on paper, I mean, this team stinks. They have a good
I'm
defense.
gonna say something,
but
and I don't want to jinx it, but this Penn State
Oh, God,
team
Robbie.
makes me feel better about those types of games. Like in past years, I've had this feeling with games like this, and it's come to fruition where they have let me down. But I feel like this team is good enough to take away that doubt and that feeling going into the game. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't see past Iowa scoring more than 14 points.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't see how that would be possible. I really don't. It just
Unless
whatever
there's like
Iowa's team total is, I'm taking the under.
unless there's like, some just like bullshit blocked field goal or
Or like
blocked
return
punt.
punt where we
which is
screw
what they
up.
always
Yeah,
do. Like I agree with your point, Rob, because I think that the Illinois game was kind of evident where last
it was
year
that same feeling.
we don't really like have that. We don't put in our backups with 10 minutes left. We don't
Right.
calm down the quarter game until it's over. And I think this team is a little bit of a different feel to it, especially with Drew a quarterback. And yeah, I just like it. There's just a different feel to this team. I mean, obviously, like we're excited and there's so much hype around it. We built ourselves up, but like they just feel different than teams prior. Like because in the past we're like, all right, maybe we'll beat Ohio State, maybe we'll beat Michigan. Now we're playing Iowa. This will be a game we'll be scared about. And I'm not like obviously I'm nervous for it, but it's the whiteout which makes me feel better. And it's the whiteout against Iowa, and like I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I like don't the weather being the big unknown. But like if it's just like if it's like little rain, like we're like quarter inch of rain, like they're talking right now, and it would only be for like an hour during like kickoff. I mean, I think we're fine. Just catch the fucking football. That's all you have
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
really just take the gloves off. Take the gloves off to catch the ball. This Iowa team, we don't really know how good they are. They're not Iowa teams of Iowa's past, but like that's kind of the kind of game they want to play. They want to play a dirty, rainy, wet game where you're gonna have to put 11 guys in the box and run the ball the whole time.
If
But
we
hopefully
play like we played against Northwestern last year, we lose.
Yeah,
But I don't think we will. But they also beat Iowa State by 7, and Iowa State just lost outright to Ohio.
yeah. Iowa State's really bad, and that
And,
was a
like-
game where they just ran the ball the whole time because both teams kind of stink.
Boring
Yeah,
accident.
I mean, like Utah State, like what do we know? Are they lost to Air Force by more than they lost to
Mhm.
Iowa.
They had 24
Although Air
points-
Force,
24
Air
points
Force is
against
actually
State
kind of good.
Air Force is good.
I feel like Iowa and Iowa State is always one of those games that Iowa State just absolutely shows up for, though. But still,
Yeah.
it's still Iowa State.
All right, so do you want
One
to?
thing that I did want to touch on from last week and to keep in mind for this week, especially if it's raining, is our special teams and the punting, because last week it was just absolutely terrible. I think I don't know how many times we even punted it, but I feel like it was less than 3, and both, all of the times that we punted it was abysmal. So just
Yeah.
something little that we need to clean up, especially if it's going to be raining. We don't want to get them short field, and just give them any sort of advantage.
So
Right
isn't
on
that
there.
like we?
Shout
What were you
out
saying?
Alex Falcons.
Yes,
He drilled a
Good boy.
45 yarder.
good
Drilled
boy.
it.
He looked good. He did look good.
I mean,
He's giving
the
me a lot of
51
confidence.
yarder, he has the leg to hit a 51 yarder. Obviously, Johnny Newton just blocked it because he was a one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I feel, I mean, Alex Falcons has only missed one field goal this year for us, and it was the one that got blocked. He came in that West Virginia game and made it. He hasn't missed an extra point, and he only missed the 51 yarder that got blocked. So
yeah.
the kicking game narrative can stop, I think.
Yeah, I don't.
He hasn't
that's still
he hasn't been in a situation where we really need him to show up yet, but
don't know.
he's shown that he can.
That
he was
45 yarder, that
He
45
yeah,
yarder
I mean,
was early in the
but
game.
in my head, we were never going to lose that game because of that field goal. But I understand
How
what
many
you're saying.
games have we lost because of kicking? Realistically, in the last couple of years, not many.
Not a whole lot. Yeah.
Like,
I
we
guess
just
you're right.
never. I mean, it's
College
just it's
football is
obvious.
a lot less about kicking than it is about controlling.
And then when we have the kicking game down, I don't know what I thought Riley Thompson was a good punter. That guy's horrible. Every time he
Yeah.
I don't
punted
know
the
what
ball,
was going on.
he punted it to the 25 every single time.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yeah,
Isn't
I
he
thought
like
he was supposed to
32
be
also?
good.
What'd you say?
Yeah, he's
He's
old.
he's Australian.
Oh,
He's one of those
He
old
should be
guys.
able to
He
punt
was
that ball.
terrible, man.
those
I don't
Australians.
know. Figure it out, but
Right.
maybe we were.
Yeah, it's just
even
something we got to clean up.
punters because Stout was so good, and Gilligan was pretty good
Gilligan
too.
was
Blake,
good.
yeah.
Marnie
So
was
we
good
did-
for like half a season.
Yeah.
He
So
kind of
Yeah, it's
just
just not
figure
something
it
that
out.
stands out to you unless it's bad.
it didn't kill us, but like I was getting pissed off when he was punting from the 30. Like he can't get in inside the 20.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It'll be
That's
fine, but
But-
yeah, our sweet Barney was solid. I forgot. Yeah, but
Sweet Barney. We were so close to getting him on the pod.
Yeah, Greg, if
Friend
you're
of the
listening.
Right.
Greg
All right,
Kincaid.
boys,
friend
should
of
we
the
move
pod.
into
Yeah, I was
some
gonna say,
predictions?
let's do predictions, and then we'll
Yeah.
kind of break down. I want to talk a little Ohio State Notre Dame afterwards, but let's do predictions
good.
first.
Yeah, I in my notes here, I had a prediction. This was before Mo told us about the rain and everything. So my prediction before knowing about the weather was 38-13 Penn State. I think we keep the 30 streak alive. But, with the rain and everything, I don't think that changes what I was able to produce. So I'm going to keep them under 14 points. But with the rain, I'll go 24-10. That seems like a good score for me.
I think I'm gonna go 27-7.
Okay. One score. Garbage time touchdown for them.
27-7, but it's like 20-7, and then we're gonna score.
Ugly.
We're gonna score with like 5 minutes left, and then the game's pretty much done. But
They'll
yeah,
sneak in a
it's gonna be-
touchdown somewhere.
It's gonna be sloppy. I would love to see like a explosive. We haven't Franklin loves
Yeah.
explosive plays, but our offense hasn't been explosive yet.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the first touchdown of the year
The
to
first
Kale.
touchdown, yeah.
Yeah, that's really it.
Other than that, everything has been even against Delaware. Like it was
Mhm.
8, 9, 10 play drives all day long.
Which is nice to see. Which is nice
it's
that we're
nice that
able
we
to
can
do that
gain
against a lesser
drives, but
opponent. But
I think this
Still.
is going to be a game where we need an explosive play or two. I don't think we're going to get it just because I think the weather is going to play a factor. But if we can get an explosive play or two, then I could easily see this game getting blown open quick. Like there's a path to like 34-7, 41-7. If
we just have to get there.
the first drive, we bust a long run for a touchdown. Like we said earlier, you get teams behind the sticks and on passing downs against us, they're in trouble.
They're not going anywhere. Yeah, very
So
true.
I think if you can score early, if you can get one of those explosive plays early, there's a path that this just is a blowout. But I think it's going to be an ugly, grindy game, 27-7.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like, I mean, I feel like we're all on pretty much the same page. I don't know how much the weather is going to play a factor because, it is Monday and it could change. Hopefully, even if it does rain, it doesn't rain that much. A little bit in the first quarter. I'm going to go with, I think we do get the 30. I think we score a late touchdown and win like 31-10, 31-30, no, 31-10. And we're going to do it. They're going to run the ball in like 30 seconds left because Franklin's going to want to get the 30. And people will be like, oh, I did it again. And I think he just wants to keep the streak going. I agree we need explosive play. I think we will get one. I think it's going to be Singleton. I think Nick's going to get one because he hasn't really been.
Gotta be.
He's been good. He's been very solid. He scored 3 touchdowns. But like I was against Delaware, right? He scored 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it 3 or was it 4?
I think he had 3, and then Katron had 1. I think.
Like he hasn't really been explosive yet. Like he hasn't broken off his classic big runs. He's been very good, but I think he gets one. I think he gets one like first quarter, first or second drive. He's going to break one, take it like 75 yards, and the place is going to go crazy. So I think that'll be it's my bold prediction, and then I think we win the game 31-10. I just don't think I can't see them moving the ball too much. Drew, again, he's not going to make mistakes. Maybe he'll miss a guy, maybe we'll have a drop or two, maybe he'll not anticipate a route again, but I think he's going to play well. I think he takes care of the football, and we just methodically move down the field. And I meant to bring this up, but CBS, it's not know if it's CBS or somebody else. They do something that's called like the Whoopsie Daisy meter, and they rank how college quarterbacks and how many like bad throws they made or how many throws they put themselves into trouble. And Drew's was 0, so he didn't really put the ball in danger. He missed a couple throws and he didn't anticipate a couple routes, but he didn't throw the ball away. So yeah, I'll go 31-10. And
back
what I want to
back to Nick Singleton. 36 carries, 154, 4.3 a carry, 5 touchdowns. His longest run this year is 16 yards.
Yeah, he hasn't really broken.
Was it that touchdown last week?
Yeah.
Wasn't that for 16?
I don't know.
Sounds right. He's been like he just chips away. He hasn't been like crazy explosive yet.
Makes sense.
Also, Trey Potts threw a touchdown. That was pretty cool.
That was sweet.
That was awesome.
That was so cool.
That guy just wants to be here.
Yeah. Wow. And I mean, Katron 42 for 208, 5 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns, Long's 18.
He's so good. He's just a grinder.
Beulah has our longest rush.
Yeah.
21 yards.
He looks so much like Trace whenever he takes off, dude.
Yeah, he does. Dude, I swear to God, if we get late in the season, I mean, it's not going to happen because this team's different, but I just can't. If people are like calling for him to do like a Tommy Stevens kind of thing, I'm going to freak out.
I hate that so much.
I hated that so much. Oh,
that was the worst time.
Tommy Stevens is our lion. Shut up.
I also, just in like getting people reps, like I get that we want to get Bo reps, but can maybe he throw the ball when he gets in?
Right.
Like I get it.
The ball.
They run him like 5 times and then he's
just
done.
runs the ball.
He scores a touchdown.
He's very good at it.
He had 9 carries for 47 yards. He threw 3 times, didn't complete a pass.
But like, God forbid he has to be our starting quarterback, and then we get in there and run the freaking read option 16 times in a row.
He's our Tim Tebow this year. When they won the national championship, Tebow just came in and ran the ball. That's Bo.
Yeah.
Drew hates running the ball. You can tell.
Absolutely
hates leaving the pocket. He's like, oh, damn it. And he's like, fine. He like runs the guy over. He's like, oh, and he gets hit. He doesn't like it. But, I mean, it's way different than the way Clifford played, which is It's just nice to see a guy that wants to sit in the pocket. He hates to run. But,
Eyes are always downfield. It's a beautiful thing.
Dude, they're always downfield.
Always. There was
Also,
one slow motion. I think he hit KLS coming across the field, and he was being chased by like 2 defensive linemen, and he was still going across the field. And I was like, this guy is unreal.
We also didn't talk about how Illinois was just like sending 8 every play.
Yeah, they
Every
just kept
time.
blitzing.
Yeah.
We had no time, and they were just blitzing. And I was like, all right, that's why I think I told you that, Rob, or Rudy, or
Yeah.
whoever. I was like, they're blitzing. Like, that's all they're doing.
Every time.
Yeah. I think, I mean, and there was a couple times where Drew found guys, but, you know, he, like, unlike Jalen Daniels for Kansas, like, who would literally run in circles and then throw it deep and, like, find something. Drew's try and step up in the pocket and makes it, like, quick.
He's smart.
Like,
yeah.
smart
Yeah,
football.
he only runs if there's literally nobody open. If there's nobody open, he's like, all right, I guess I'll run.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he still completed a 33-yard pass at the end of the day today. Like, that's a chunk play. But yeah, let's roll into Ohio State, Notre Dame. We've talked about this a bunch on this pod. We were Notre Dame fans for a hot second, but
For a hot sec. But now I think we're back.
we have to root for Ohio State. We have to.
We have to. I've
For
realized
the playoff implications.
like not even the playoff implication, but like just for us, like I'd rather go in there and beat an undefeated Ohio State rather than Ohio State that, because then it's like, oh, like we're not that good this year. Beat a down Ohio State team. Like, and then
my thought process is if Notre Dame wins this game, then they vault into the playoff competition, and then there's no path if we are 11-1.
Yeah, that's true.
Then we absolutely have to win out.
You have Notre Dame's schedule is tough, but it'd be better for us if Ohio State won this game. Obviously,
where's the game at?
It's in South Bend.
It's in South Bend.
So what is the spread? It's probably, if I had to guess, it's gonna be like 2.5 Notre Dame. Let's see. Ohio State's a 3.5-point favorite. South Bend.
I mean, do we really know how good Notre Dame is? I mean, Sam Hartman's looked good, but like,
he's really good. I really like him, unfortunately. Oh wow, they go to Duke Notre Dame next week.
They have a tough schedule.
Ohio State, Duke, and then they'll beat Louisville, and then they play USC, and they go to Clemson.
Yeah,
it's not an easy schedule.
Not at all. I mean, they could. We don't know yet. I mean, they look really good against North Carolina State. NC State's all right, but like you could drop 3 of those 4 games. Yeah. So we'll see. We need Ohio State to win though. It'd be better for us if they won.
Yeah, Ohio State winning is so much better for our narrative.
Yeah.
And then we just go in. You go into the shoe. You win. Michigan doesn't beat us at home. We're 12-0. Who do we like? The Big Ten West stinks again.
Wisconsin's not good.
No.
There's not a great team in that conference.
Rob,
you probably play Iowa again.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up.
Was that his first pass through pick 6?
Yep.
All right.
Fucking well done, Steelers.
Robbie's got to watch the Browns. So I mean, I feel like we just root for Ohio State. Let's beat Iowa, and then then they gotta. Oh, also, real quick,
Go Rutgers.
Yeah, go Rutgers. The Maryland narrative needs to stop around the country.
I hate the Maryland narrative so much. I hate it.
Yeah, dude. People think that they've
done absolutely nothing.
They think that they're actually gonna beat like one of us, Ohio State or Michigan.
Like, I just don't get it.
Keep in mind, they were down 14-0 to Virginia, who might be the worst Power 5 team in the country.
Then they like should have lost that game, and then the kid threw 3 picks on 3 passes inside his own territory, and then they scored 3 touchdowns. So I'm just, I want to beat the dog shit out of Maryland when we play them.
Although, like Maryland, they're gonna go. Michigan State, they're gonna win. Indiana, they're going to win. They're going to lose at Ohio State. They'll probably beat Illinois at home.
Maybe they'll beat Northwestern. They might have one loss against us.
They're going to be one loss. Yeah.
Maybe we should go to that game.
Last time I went to Penn State, Maryland at Maryland was the Friday game that we won
Oh,
like
you got that?
63-0. Yeah.
50-0.
It was incredible.
Maybe take the train down. Maybe we'll make that a trip. But we'll figure that out. All right, I think that's everything, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna hop off.
Yeah, we'll let Rob watch the Browns. All right, thank you for watching and listening. At 4th and 5 Pod on Twitter, on SoundCloud. I'm still working to get us on Spotify and Apple Music, and we'll figure that out though. But thanks for listening and watching. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. We are.